Get the mic off, so flip it on, please.
It's our first game week.
Yeah.
First game week. First game week.
All right,
How's everybody doing?
we'll take questions from Coach Brown.
Everybody good? Good to be back in front of you guys.
Coach, good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you
Lots
as well.
been, since the depth chart has come out, there's been a lot of talk about that nose tackle spot.
Yeah.
Could you just talk about how Tell has made improvement in that competition between he and Lola?
Well, I'll say this, Desmond has done a tremendous job since, the end of last year, all the spring ball, all the summer. And he just continued to work his butt off. And I think, one thing with Jermaine is, he was a little injured early on in camp and just now getting back into, kind of football shape. And getting into the swing of things, how we do things here, and it's going to be a great sight to see on Saturday. Both of those guys trotting out, and Jermaine he's coming along, and that could trend in another way later on. But as of right now, Desmond Tell has won that job over him. But you'll see a lot of Jermaine on Saturday.
Bryan, you talked pre-camp about the newcomers creating competition. Now that camp is over, how much did the newcomers help the guys coming back get better? Because it seems like some of those older guys are on that depth chart, even with those new guys.
I think it helped out a whole lot, Jody. I really did. For those guys coming here and create that competition, that the older guys knew was I better be on my A game because if I'm not on my A game, my spot may be taken. And so that has helped out so much, and that created competition against the offense as well. The guys are giving everything they have. And I think the other thing is you're seeing a lot more guys in this building too watching film, and so that helps. And when you get great competition on the football field, that only shows you that you're going to have a pretty good football team on both sides of the football. And I think that's what we're seeing right now come to fruition with all the transfers that we have right now.
Yeah, Coach, I believe you've limited them to one field goal in the last two games you played them. How were you able to do that, and how is the challenge different this Saturday?
Well, I think the thing is, our guys were just very in tune to the game. I think the coaches did a great job with the game plan and implementing and practicing well. I think, some of it, may have to do with some of the injuries that they had, up front, and things of that nature, that we were able to get in the backfield a lot and be able to stop the running game. I think, this past season, was a good test. They needed one game to go to be bowl eligible, when they got ready to play us and had one of the best rushing attacks in the country, and the best running back in the country, one of them, and a quarterback that can run the football. And so I think our guys did a great job of stopping the run game and trying to make them one-dimensional in throwing the football. And that's what helped us last year. I think this year, first game of the season, so everybody's healthy, for the most part. And what they did in the past in the running game, at Syracuse, was really good. So I expect those guys to continue to do some of the things, if not majority of the things that they did in the run game, because they were number 2 in the country, number 1 in the ACC in rushing. The quarterback ran for a lot of yards this past season as well. He was one, I think, maybe number 2 as far as rushing yards and rushing touchdowns this past season. So I expect them to continue that. But I think the passing game will be totally different. I think the passing game will be UVA's passing game. They were, one of the top 5 in the country in passing. So I would expect Robert to, implement his passing game as well as some little wrinkles here and there, in the run game that, will be a little bit different than what Syracuse has been accustomed to in the last couple of years. So we're excited for the challenge, and we look forward to it, and we'll see what they have those first couple of series on Saturday.
Yeah. Coach, where do you feel like you all can be more aggressive this year? What particular group? And I guess thinking about the pass rush that you had last year, where do you feel like that could take another step?
Well, I think with the first thing is I always look at it this way. The pass rush is indicative of coverage, and the coverage is indicative of pass rush. And so I think with the guys we have, within our building right now, you see some tighter coverage, tighter windows, even within our zone concepts. Now the quarterback has to hold on to the football a little bit longer, and now your pass rush can get there. There's so many times last year that we may have been right there. It'd been a split sack, and it's a sack, or a sack calls fumble. But now the coverage can be a little bit tighter, and I think that's going to help us with our pass rush. But the more aggressive group, I would say coming out of fall camp will be our defensive line as well as our linebackers. Those guys have been really aggressive. I think in the secondary, the guys that have come along and, the transfer guys have done a tremendous job of, challenging receivers and being in a lot tighter coverage. And so I'm excited. I'm able to sleep at night some, with some of the guys we have. So it's great to have, and look forward to Saturday.
Yeah, I guess Bryan, to bounce off that, because of, you can say, everything from the offseason and the talk, how hungry is this group to get on the field and to try to make a statement and prove, you can say, what type of defense it's going to be?
Well, I think they're very, very hungry. I think last year, when you look at overall, you're missing some key pieces. You're missing Catrell Clark, who was, second team All-ACC player. You're missing, one of your best playmakers in Monty Montgomery. And losing those two guys who are two leaders of the group, it hurt us. It hurt us tremendously. And so I think especially those two guys, they're ready to get out and prove something. But I think as an overall group, our guys just want to come out and have fun and be a great disciplined defense and come out and show that we can be one of the best defenses in the country when we do things the right way. And we've seen that so far, fall camp. And so we're ready to showcase it for the world.
Bryan, now obviously Syracuse doesn't have any film so far this season, but so when you're kind of in film study, how much of it is kind of breaking down Syracuse themselves, kind of run heavy, and how much of it is kind of looking at Virginia and how pass heavy they were?
I think it's just a little bit of mixture of both, because like you said, those guys did a tremendous job running the football last year. One of the best in the country, in the conference and country. And Sarah and UVA did a great job in the passing game, with what they had. And so, you bring in, your quarterbacks coach and receiver coach over and OC. I would expect those guys to do, some similar things with Virginia. But you got to think Dino's an offensive guy as well, and so, I can see them using some things that have hurt us in the past or, from our games in the past, 2019, 18, not 18, but 2019 and 20. So it's a little mixture of both. So we've been trying to do the best we can to kind of put a little bit of both taste in on the football field.
And just a quick follow-up, when kind of breaking down that Syracuse film, who kind of stands out on offense not named Sean Tucker?
Quarterback. Garrett Schrader is an unbelievable talent. And when he pulls that ball down, whether it's from drop back pass and running the football or any Q design runs, he can run. He can run with the best of them. I'm pretty sure he's probably a 4.4 kid, a long strider that can run. As well as, people don't give him a lot of credit for throwing the football. I think he throws the ball well. I think he does a great job with his back shoulder, quick throws, even down the field throws. The long touchdown that he threw against Virginia Tech last year to win the game in the slot, that was perfect. And he's getting ready to get drilled. And he stood in there and took it, But he's a tough kid. He really is. And I look at, the Courtney Jackson kid that's in the slot that, that they'll probably move him around in multiple ways with Robert's, offense. He's a great talent that can run, as well as, get open in the passing game. You look at Alford, 82, a long receiver that can stretch the field, and I think he gives you a big target. And then looking at some of the things what they have on their depth chart with some of the tight ends and things that they will use, it's going to be interesting to see. But we look forward to it and can't wait for the challenge on Saturday.
Bryan, you guys had a lot of success against Sean Tucker. He's obviously one of the best running backs in AC. What is the key to defending him and kind of containing him as much as you possibly can?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to get to him before he gets going. And if you can do that, and limit the space that you have in between him and yourself as a tackler, it gives you a better chance to possibly end up tackling and getting that win on that down. But we just have to do a great job of gang tackling Sean, because he's an explosive runner. One of the best in ACC, one of the best in the country. So we can continue to do that and win up front and win in the trenches and get our linebackers in the backfield. I think we'll have a pretty good day stopping the run if we can do so. So we just got to limit the space in between us and the ball carrier.
Coach, the noise level in the dome has always been well, not always, but has often been a factor in Louisville games. Is there any way you can prepare people? Is it even possible?
Well, I think for us defensively, I don't know if it'll be as loud because I think they want their offense to be able to hear and communicate. But just in general, I would say anytime you playing inside of a dome, you know, it's gonna be pretty loud, especially away. And the only thing I think you can do is, you know, sometimes you can go inside and just crank the music up as loud as you possibly can, and hopefully, you know, you can get the communication, your hand signals, and I think what that does is just, you know, make the guys study a whole lot more to make sure that they know exactly what they're doing without some of the communication, you know, pieces that you will, you know, normally I could tell you, hey, you got to do this, but hey, you won't be able to hear it because it's going to be so loud. So just cranking the music up as loud as you possibly can is probably the only thing that you can do to be able to practice for the dome.
Last two, the Camp Brothers.
Coach,
Hold on a second. Now you got to tell me what's the deal with that, Joe?
my name's Kent. His
Yeah.
name is Quentin.
Actually,
Quentin Warren Spencer.
Actually, his
III.
name's John. Let's keep it going.
You took over a historically bad defense.
Yes, sir.
So it's been a long road to this. Is this as confident as you've been going into a season that the guys will be able to execute what you want them to on the field?
Absolutely. I think this is going into year 4. You know, coming here, we knew it was going to be a challenge defensively to build this defense into, you know, what we wanted it to look like. And we knew it wasn't going to be an overnight success, you know, but we knew that we had to, you know, take our bumps and bruises, you know, so far on down the road. But we knew at the end that, you know, we were going to have what we need defensively. And this is the most confident I've been. And I think this is the most confident this group has been defensively, that they can go out and execute and compete at a high level, and they feel like, hey, we deserve to be on the same playing field as everybody else. So this is the most exciting, as well as you know, confident that we felt since we've been here.
Bryan, you mentioned the injuries that you guys suffered last year, Monty being one of the critical ones. How has he looked in fall camp, and how do you feel about him coming into this season in this first week?
Money is money. That sucker he's probably talking crap to somebody right now. Number one, walking through the building. But I feel great. Money walked into our defensive staff room this morning, you know, all wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, you know, and, you know, coming around giving everybody on the defensive staff high fives. And he's excited. You know, he's excited for the opportunity to get back on the football field to, you know, show the fans and show scouts, you know, what he can do, you know, that he's back. And so I'm excited for him. He's done a heck of a job, not only just, you know, on the football field, but just leading. You know, I mean, you missed that leadership from him last year on the football field. You know, when things go wrong, I mean, it's going to be time Saturday where we'll strike some adversity. And when you look out there on the field and you have, you know, Monty Montgomery, Catrell Clark, you know, Kendrick Duncan, Momo, those guys will be able to settle that defense down. And not only just the defense, but I think team in general. So we're excited to have Monty back and can't wait to see him perform on Saturday as well as the rest of the season.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Bryan.
Mhm.
Thanks, Bryan.